What are some foods that aren't as unhealthy as people make them out to be? Popcorn. For how good it tastes, it has almost nothing bad in it. You add the salt and butter of course, and those aren't great, but you're not getting a super high amount of those. Fat in general, not the trans ones though. Potatoes. I'm so tired of hearing people talk about all the natural sugar in fruit. I guarantee you this banana is healthier than potato chips and cookies. There are scientific studies suggesting that not all the calories in nuts are bioavailable, so you might only get 75 of the calories. There are also studies showing they contribute to weight loss even despite being high in calories. Almost all unhealthy foods are not as bad as people say. The issue is we're used to serving sizes that are 3x what they should be, or are ignoring ones that are set reasonably. Chips and salsa. I will die on this hill. Anything high in healthy fats. Please someone say chocolate. Pizza. There are ways to build a pie that minimize grease. They seem surprisingly easy to make from scratch, and they aren't super expensive either. Fats, like olive oil. From someone born and raised in the nation of good food and who graduated from a professional institute for agriculture with this very subject as finals thesis: GMOs. Pizza. No one gets on your case about a tomato and cheese sandwich. MSG. The scare was racism. Bread carbs. Moderation is key like always, but complex carbs can help you feel full and help with fiber intake. Eggs. Wait, what do you mean chalk is not a food? I get so annoyed when people talk about how much sugar fruit contains. I have never seen someone get obese or any other food-related health complication from eating fruit. Eat your fruit, lol. Potatoes. Frozen bean burritos. Hamburgers, not a bad ratio of fats, carbs, protein. Load them up with veggies and they are pretty good for you. Rice? The whole world eats it. Burgers. It's just bread, meat, some vegetables, and sauce to make it have a taste, plus cheese if you're not lactose intolerant. Incredibly ridiculous that those ingredients plated on a dish looks healthy, but put them in a sandwich and all of a sudden my arteries. Ramen. They're just carbs, and not unhealthier than any other kind of dried pasta. MSG literally naturally occurring in tomatoes and cheese, and now you know those ingredients make virtually everything that uses them taste so good. Basically all foods, if done in moderation, are not as unhealthy for you. That said, I have a personal vendetta against weird fried foods like fried Oreos. Eggs. MSG, soy, gluten. Nuts, avocado, egg yolks. Anything with cholesterol. There's new evidence that dietary cholesterol doesn't really impact your overall cholesterol levels. Though I think awareness of this has grown super fast in the last couple of decades. Fat. Fat isn't bad for you, I mean, some types are. But slather on that butter. Get it? Whole milk. Nuts, definitely. Apparently there was a study done on snack food versus life expectancy, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich added 33 minutes to your life. You better believe that my ADHD brain decided that PBJ was the greatest joy in my life for the next 2 weeks after I heard that. Burgers, depending on what kind and how prepared. The most important thing I take from this thread is that people will spit on about any single edible thing on earth at one point or another, and for any, usually made up, reason. Eggs. Sugar. Carbs, which means sugar. Carbs are sugar, once and for all. Fat. Salt. Bread. Potatoes. Fucking hell. Anything high in calories that isn't otherwise bad for you. People forget that not every single human is trying to lose weight. For us POTS girls, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, salt is actually healthy for us, and we have to eat way more than the daily suggested amount to keep us from feeling woozy fainting. Some of us take salt pills, carry salt shakers or packets pickle juice. We are salt sluts. Bread. Tacos or burritos. Good ones have healthy fats like avocados, whole grains, corn tortillas, pickled and fresh veggies, high fiber veggies like beans, and protein. Butter. Of course you can overdo it, but it's better for you than margarine. Problem is that unhealthy is an incredibly broad and vague word. Some might use it to refer to foods that are high in calories, for example, regardless of how nutritious they are and what health benefits they may have. Pasta has a low glycemic index. I have a friend who followed a low glycemic diet who wouldn't eat it even though they acknowledged the science because it doesn't feel right. Anything high in carbohydrates. I genuinely don't understand why during last 4 years or so everyone begun to freak out at the sight of sugar polymers. Italian and Japanese people got the best life expectancy eating pasta and rice daily. If there's something to remove from one's diet, that surely ain't carbs. Fat. Your brain is around 60 fat and needs fatty acids. Roughly 35 of your daily calories should come from fat for optimal brain function, although saturated fats should only make up 10. This is why low-no-fat diets often cause regular brain fog or forgetfulness. Low-fat, light, and no-fat foods often have additives that are more harmful than fat to mimic a similar mouthfeel, so just get the fat version. Personally, I opt for a higher fat breakfast every morning as it's more satiating and makes me feel a bit sharper in the mornings than I used to. Peanut butter. Why people hate it so much outside of allergies is bewildering. Potatoes and carbs in general, unless you have a real allergy or intolerance. You would have to eat 3.5 cups of ice cream to consume the same amount of sugar as in 1 can of Coke. Eggs. Some people make them out to be the devil, but they have a good amount of protein as well as several essential vitamins and minerals such as vitamin A, B12, selenium, etc. Plus, your body does need some fat and cholesterol, and you can't live without it. Salt. Canned tuna. Because it's canned and it's easy to get and use and cheap, people say it's bad, but it's actually really good for health. Olive oil. Salt. You actually need it. If you don't have hypertension, there's no need for a low-salt diet. Plutonium. It gets a bad rap just because some people drank tea and plutonium at the same time. But how do we know it wasn't actually the tea that killed them? MSG. Full-fat dairy products. I eat 17 Russian-style yogurt with walnuts, a banana, or berries, use real butter sparingly, and cream in my coffee. I am 73 and healthy. I don't eat sugar, though. Potatoes. It's when you cook them in pure liquid fat that they get unhealthy. Taco Bell is not healthy, but they've really worked on cutting back sodium in their food lately. Eggs. Things are incredible. 5 pounds tub of Twizzlers and beer. Maybe. Just a little healthy. Anyone? Someone agree with me. MSG. It was sold as terrible for you to the point where people stopped patronizing Chinese restaurants, who then had to always put up these cardboard signs, "No MSG," to stay in business. MSG is the shit. It makes food taste better. It's not going to hurt you. Ramen. Throw away the sauce pack and it's about 400 calories. Granola bars are often to be made out to be as unhealthy as chocolate bars when they are not. The only thing you need to be careful about them is not to be under the illusion that they are diet